Welcome back, Ram fans, to Hot or Not. I had some time to think about my hot take since I wasn't here last week, and I thought this would be a perfect one for everything that's been going on the gridiron for the Rams. I was pessimistic earlier on in the season, but I think CC football can make a bowl game this year if they keep playing how they are now. Madeline, of course I'm not talking about the Rose Bowl or the Sugar Bowl, anything like that. I'm talking more Myrtle Beach, New Mexico, Liberty Bowl. I think, San Diego State and Air Force just recently got their bowl game eligible. Do you think the Rams could join them?
I don't know. It's gonna be tough, but I don't want to say that it's out of question. Like, I think that if you were to ask me this 2 weeks ago, I would say, oh, this is a hotter take than being 500. But
that's fair.
But I don't know. Like, as they're improving every week.
Yeah.
And, that's so obvious. I think that after next week, we'll really see for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I was looking at the Mountain West standings, and right now they're fourth. They have the fourth best defense in the Mountain West. In the last few years, they usually have the worst defense. That's when, Mike Bobo, he was more of an offensive-heavy coach, but I really like this defense. They have the second most sacks in the Mountain West. But their offense is still kind of lacking. I think that's coming from Todd Centeio. He's still, like I said, he is improving. Don't get me wrong. But I still think he still has a long way, and this is his last year, so you kind of got to ride it out. And they do have a good running attack, especially with David Bailey back, but A.J. Vivens, he's out now.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard to see. I really think if they can beat Boise, Nevada, and Air Force, if they could be 2 out of those 3 teams, I think they could be bowl game eligible.
I think if they beat Air Force, for sure. I mean, Air Force is having a pretty good season.
Yeah.
Like, if they beat Air Force, they're a real deal.
Well, the thing is, they don't even need to beat them. They just have to make it competitive. Yeah, they just got to make it competitive because San Diego State, they're ranked right now. They are ranked. Really? Yeah, they're in the top 25. And I think a good thing that's helping CSU right now is Iowa dropped out of the top 10. They were ranked number 2 last week, and then Purdue beat them.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think CSU kind of exposed them because CSU was supposed to get blown out. Iowa's 24-point favorites. And then CSU makes it within 10 and has a lead at halftime. I think the CSU football team is one of the best we've seen since 2014.
Honestly, I agree. And I like, as much as people want to throw it on Adazio, I think he's kind of a good coach.
Yeah.
Like, I think that he's, brought this team together. And, I mean, you can definitely tell in, all those, locker room celebration videos, they definitely have, a tight-knit group there.
Yeah, they have, a brotherhood. Every night before the game, they have a dinner together. And Adazio, I just love how his press conferences go.
Yeah.
He motivates me when he talks to the media. So I really think, honestly, if they can, like I said, beat any of those 3 teams, they're going to be bowl game eligible.
I really hope you're right.
We'll be there.
Well, okay, now it's time for something that I'm really passionate about. Baseball, obviously. And I think that the new designated hitter rule that they're introducing next year for the AL and the NL is, honestly, it's kind of ruining the sport.
Okay, why do you think it's ruining the sport? Because that's a big take, ruining the whole sport of baseball. So, how is it ruining it?
I think it takes away from the strategy aspect and what makes the NL so special. If you watch the AL, you think of all the big players. You think of Mike Trout, you think of Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge on the Yankees. They're all big hitters. What do? They don't all necessarily DH. Giancarlo Stanton does. Judge and Trout, they play. But still, you think of them for hitting their home runs, not their defensive players. When you think of the NL, what do you think of? You think of the defensive players. You get some offense in there. Yeah, Nolan. Mm-hmm. I mean, all of that. You get that, and I think that it also takes away from the excitement of watching the pitchers hit. I know that everybody says, oh, they're going to get injured and whatnot, but Herman Marquez hit a home run off of Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish is a pitcher that was an all-star. He went to the all-star game this year, and Herman Marquez, that relief pitcher in San Diego that hit a grand slam off of Max Scherzer, with the DH, that's all going to go away.
Yeah, but don't you think it'll be more competitive though once there is more designated hitters, or I should say more competitive, more offensively, and I think that's kind of what the fans want.
I guess, and it's probably going to be one of those things that it happens, and I hate it at first, but then
Get used to it.
Yeah, CJ Crone is the DH and he hits 45 home runs in the season, and I'm like, oh, this is the best thing we've had. But right now I just think it takes away from the strategy, and it takes away from like determining, if you're in the fifth inning, if you're in the fifth inning, you have bases loaded, 2 outs. The next spot is the pitcher. You're down by 1.
Exactly.
As that manager, you have to make a decision. Do you keep in our pitcher because he's pitching well, or do you pull him to get that offensive stuff? What is in that? And having the DH just takes that all away.
Yeah, because you can have a pitcher in your next lineup, and it's the bottom of the 9th, and then boom, you can put Bryce Harper in, and bam, and then I think that kind of gets it. Honestly, I'm excited to see this new rule change, but we'll see how it does. We have until another season to see how it goes. But next week, we'll see how the Braves are doing. I got some money on that one. But that is all the time we have for tonight's show. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for Bleacher Beat with Brandon Cruz. Take care, Ram fans, and we'll see you next week.